Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are doing a Kickstarter preview of High Noon from White Label Games. It looks like it was designed by Dwight Senack II.
It's actually by, I believe, High Noon Games, and this is the game system they're using. I believe.
Okay,
I
cool.
believe it's High Noon by High Noon Games. I believe.
Okay,
okay.
Perfect. Nope,
Yeah.
great, grand.
Yeah.
So High Noon by High Noon Games.
I believe so. We'll
is
fix it.
a
In
2 to
post.
4 player right now with the core box. 2 to 4 player.
Yep.
A tactical skirmish game in the Wild West. So this is like Sweetwater Gulch. This is the recommended map setup. It's a little funky because with the tiles that we got, there's sort of some overlap, but like technically it should be like.
Yeah, in
cutting
order
off-
to build
cutting off
the
right there.
recommended map in the book, it looked a little weird for us.
Sure. But that's all right. That's all right. So the game comes with 4 different gangs. You've got this this awesome trio of Native Americans right here that are pretty brutal up close.
Yeah, they
as Dan found out.
Yeah,
And-
they do with the axe doing like a ton
And
of
those
damage
models
at a
are
time.
awesome.
As Dan was playing the Sheriff Garrett and Deputy Gates, I was playing as the Leroy Gang, and then Bob was playing as Colonel Rogers.
Rough Riders.
and the Rough Riders. So each faction, if you will, kind of has their own
Unique flavor to them.
unique flavor. Yeah, you do
your
have,
own
everybody's got their
personalized
own deck, which is pretty cool because you start with 6 cards, and at the end of your turn, you're going to draw 3 cards. Everything's pretty straightforward. There's 3 phases. There's the movement phase. So everybody's got a movement
Value.
rating.
Mhm.
So
Speed.
the natives are faster. Everybody else, I believe, moves at 4 for right now, at
Yep.
least in the core game.
Yep.
And so everybody moves. So once you've moved all of your guys, then each one of your units can take 1 action. That could be looting a crate if you're adjacent to it. So you would draw from the appropriate crate deck 3 cards, keep 1, discard 2. You could loot a body if somebody has died. If you leave a little tombstone marker, and then if they had any loot on their corpse, you could just take what you want. Say thanks.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. If you're adjacent to one of your buddies, you can swap gear. So like maybe this guy's carrying something that he can't use because he doesn't have a
Yeah,
rifle.
right.
You can hand it off to your buddy with the rifle.
Right. Or you can send somebody who, because your cards are specific for like your people, right? Like your main people or your
Right.
offshoot guys. So you send your offshoot guys to go get your stuff, bring it back to your main guys since you have more cards for them
Right.
typically.
Right. So, and the game plays over 12 rounds. They give you 12 rounds to start killing everybody. So after movement is the action phase. So you can loot, you can you can trade,
Yep.
you can attack. So you can play cards from your hand, or if your guy has
A gun already.
a weapon equipped. And so then the cards are character specific. So this makes gameplay really tight because if Deputy Gates is not really the guy in range to shoot, or if he's dead, this card is pretty useless. Or if Deputy Gates is not the guy getting shot at,
You can't use it to defend.
you can't use it to defend, at least as we understood it in the rules. But each card, I did like this, that it has an attack value and a defense value. I thought that was good. So then basically the attack, you subtract the attack or the defense from the attack, and then that's how much damage they're dealt. You keep track of it on your player board just by sliding one of the little tokens down. So very straightforward and pretty easy. There's rules for cover and line of sight. All again pretty straightforward and simple.
Yeah. Works pretty much the way you think it would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. But yeah, so the issue that I had, and it's designed this way, so I get it, is that I had a lot of cards in my hand
Yeah.
for guys that
I killed one of your main guys super early, and that made a lot of cards not worth anything.
Well, you know what though, I didn't even have cards for that guy
until I killed him.
until you killed him. But I didn't.
That's good.
But I was playing as the Leroy Gang, and I didn't have cards for Leroy Gang members. I kept having cards for Quentin, so it didn't matter, as much. So it got frustrating. But anyways, but yeah, and then at the end of your turn, you can have up to 12 cards in your hand. So you have to draw 3 cards at the end of your turn. So if you've got 9, or if you've got more than 9, you've got to discard down and then draw up.
Yep.
So you can't draw and then decide what you want to get rid of. You have to
Correct.
discard first.
Yep.
And then
Next
turns
person
go
goes.
round and round.
Yep, round and round for 12 turns. 12
And then
rounds.
every time you damage an opponent, you get a gold.
Yep.
As long as it was on your turn.
Yeah,
that
if you
damaged
attack
them.
someone and damage them.
Yes.
Yep.
And then if you defeat an opponent, they have a gold value,
Value.
like a reward for killing them.
And that is even if you defeat them not on your turn in a
Correct.
defense
Yep.
and stuff like that. There were some cards, especially the
His guy, yeah.
especially the deputy. He had a lot of cards that were
React
like reaction
cards.
shots that were really fun, and so that's a way for him to gain gold as well.
That and your mustache is glorious, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, and his, thanks.
Yeah.
That goes all the way around.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is an interesting Kickstarter because I believe it's like the first 4,000 people that back this. As soon as the campaign closes, they're shipping out this game.
Yep.
I don't know if that means they're also shipping out like the expansions because there's like bullets and brandy and
From what I read, it said,
metal and
and I could be
money.
wrong, but from what I read, it said they'll be immediately shipped the core game.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
So
great.
core game, yeah.
That's what I read, but it could have been core game plus other stuff later, and I didn't see it.
Sure. So, I mean, components-wise, there are games with better components. The minis are fine.
I really like the minis. I
mean,
think they're-
Especially, like I said, these guys. Like,
Right.
I kept looking at them. I was like, these are great.
Yeah, no, they look-
they
right?
seem so
a little
different.
shading or a paint job on there, and it
Like
really made
these
it pop.
guys, it was fun. It's not like they're bad minis, but they basically look the exact same, right? To where they were so different and unique, and they actually guess what? This guy ran really fast in his melee. This guy has this really long range rifle. Like they're so different. I
Right.
like that a lot. And Tim's guys, a lot of them are dual wielding, and he has cards he can play
Shoot
that shoot
twice.
twice.
Right.
And so that stuff's really cool.
Well, and I liked the way that they put these notches. I don't
Yep,
know that
that's
you'll
what
be
I
able
was
to
gonna
see
say.
it, but I really like the notches that they put in the base. So
'Cause they
I
number
know
your
that this is
people.
gang member number 3.
Yep. Yeah, that was really helpful.
I'd wish these were double-sided.
Dual-sided.
Oh
yeah.
Bob and
Oh,
I
yeah.
mentioned not to tell you how to do anything, right? Whatever. But Bob and I were talking. I think you mentioned it first,
Yeah.
saying it'd be so cool if on the back when they died, you flipped over and it had kind of an obituary of
Yeah,
Oh, your
like a
tombstone.
tombstone,
yeah,
or like an
kind of
obituary
tombstone
of
saying,
sort on there.
saying his name.
Yeah.
He was a loving husband and father, and all
Right.
that stuff.
Died
And
in
you're just
Right.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
yeah, that would really give a connection.
A little
right,
bit more
these
flavor to it.
characters.
Yeah.
But the game's got a good enough variety with the loot crates that give you different
Yeah,
items.
different decks, different types of
So you
items.
got 3 different decks you could be drawing from. You're going to see different things. There's different factions that play. The variety is there.
You can jump through windows, which is kind of cool because you always see that in the westerns.
Yeah,
Like,
but you'll take
jump through the
damage.
window.
Right.
Yeah, you take exactly because all the
Right.
glass is
That's
breaking.
all right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
cool.
right.
Yeah.
It's cool.
There's a lot of good things. I think there's some things that could be cleaned up or tightened up a bit.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a little bit of an issue with the walls, like trying to figure out where that bank vault was at.
Right.
Like, we didn't
Yeah,
notice that
the
until
doors
a turn
versus
later.
the grid versus the walls. Those
Yep.
3 things all kind of overlay on top of each other in a
Kinda
semi-confusing way in some places.
Correct.
Right. And I think for a Western tactical skirmish game, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I like how with the windows they put the little
Yeah, that was a really
the light.
That's
and that's
a really
cool.
good-
Now,
like,
I
it
will say,
looks-
though, how could the sun be hitting every window at the same angle? Hello.
because it's high noon.
Oh,
high
you're
noon.
right. Dang it. I was trying to make a joke there, and you shot that down.
Yeah, it's like-
But no, I loved it. I pointed this out instantly. What a
Yeah.
genius, simple mechanic to show you where the windows
Yeah.
are in the
Yep.
game.
Yeah.
Just have the sunshine coming through.
Mm-hmm.
I am still, my biggest negative, I think, is just still at the end of the day, these do not feel like final components to me.
Oh,
But
sure.
they didn't ruin the game.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the game quite a bit. I do recommend after our playthrough, it feels like it'll play way better 2v2 teams.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
if you're going to go with 4 players, you should
should
do
team 'em
2v.
up.
You
Yeah.
should team them up.
Like have, this team with one of the bigger teams and this team with one of the bigger teams, right? And just see how that plays.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you had only 2 guys, but you had nobody else had reaction cards like you.
Yeah,
had.
That's
you were doing
true,
You know what I mean?
but I also only ever fought the other small team guy.
This is true.
So I'm not sure how that would go if these 2 guys, even with their reaction shots, could stand a chance against 5 guys. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
These guys are pretty weak.
I had never had enough cards
Yeah,
to
to test that out.
to test that out. Because of the way that it was designed,
Yeah.
I'm sure intentionally. I just never had the cards in my hand to be able to attack with all my Leroy gang
Correct.
all
Sure.
at once,
Yep.
which was frustrating at times, but I get it also because of the sheer number of guys you have.
That's why I was trying to get my coffee to my main guy because I had so many cards for him that it'd be
Yeah.
nice to be able to take
Right.
those extra
And I-
actions.
and
Yeah,
I
you got
should've-
like a runner.
Yep.
I should have tried to do that. Like once I realized it was a little too late. Once I realized, oh wait, like I don't have cards to attack with these guys. Why am I getting them in position to attack
when they can't.
when they can't?
Yeah.
So that was my own fault. But realized that pretty late.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll just say, like I was saying a second ago, biggest negative is the components, but they don't ruin the game. They just don't feel totally finalized and like clean.
Sure.
My biggest positive is the theme here. The theme,
love the theme.
I love the
Great.
theme. I love that I, as the deputy and stuff, I started in the sheriff's office. You know,
Yep.
I had this certain
And-
stuff
and
here.
where you start at?
The Leroy gang started in the bank vault. They had just robbed the bank. They're getting out, you know, and the natives were coming in from the side. Like,
the soldier guys were held little territory in the middle, like basically kind of.
well, this was clearly like their wagon and their supplies, right?
Right,
Yeah.
they
And
just
stuff,
jumped
and it
out,
broke
wheel
down,
fell
like-
off, they jumped out,
like
get some cover.
The theme here really came through for me for such a simple concept.
Yeah.
here,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And they do have an upgraded component pack, which is pretty nice. looking.
Correct.
Right.
They do. And again, I mentioned earlier, but like the whole dual wielding guys actually shooting twice and stuff, like those things just really. The theme is there.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you think
If
you're
you like
interested in this because
westerns.
it's Western,
Yeah.
you will get that feeling. Definitely. I
And
think.
gameplay is very straightforward.
Yeah, super
It took-
simple for a
It did
skirmish
not take
game.
very long to teach
Yep.
at all. Like, it was easy to learn and easy to teach.
Yep.
I would be surprised if the game actually lasted 12 rounds, but I think they did that on purpose. This is like if you last this long, we're just ending it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Right.
end it.
Like I think
Yeah.
it's like that because I
Because
really
then
don't
you
see
probably
that.
at that point you just have one
People
guy
are running
from
away,
one
yeah.
other guy
exactly.
at the very end. But yeah, so this is High Noon. It's on Kickstarter now. It's got by the time this comes up, it'll still have like 20+ days probably.
Okay.
So nice long Kickstarter. They've
Yep.
got a bunch of different options as far as
Like add-ons.
and expansions.
Expansions.
So there's at least 2 or 3
Yeah.
expansions.
There's a guy with like a minigun.
Yeah.
He looks pretty cool.
I wonder how that works. Like he must have like no movement, like one movement,
Yeah.
but he.
Yeah.
Oh man.
rotates.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if this is something that is interesting to you, I would definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Tactical skirmish, Old West. I mean, it does check a lot of boxes, right?
Yeah.
And the Western theme seems to be a thing right now. We might start to see a bunch
of those. Yeah, like
I'm
there was
okay
that,
with that.
like there was the Viking Age, like what was it, 4
Right.
or 5 years ago, and now
Right.
it's like
yeah, it
I'm
was
telling
like
you right
zombies,
now.
then Vikings. Now,
Yeah.
I will never get tired of Western theme. So
There you go.
Yeah.
bring it on.
right.
there you go. All we need now is like the Marty McFly and
Oh,
expansion
yeah.
that would
the,
be hilarious.
The Mad Dog Tannen,
Yeah.
expansion. That's what I want.
That is funny.
But anyway, so this has been High Noon.
Yeah,
I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.